Also in this edition of Kantipur News, we have updates about the final rites of late CPNUML Deputy Chairperson Subhash Chandra Nembang, Kim Jong-un's invitation to Vladimir Putin to visit North Korea, and the Asia Cup clash between Pakistan and Sri Lanka. Good morning, I'm Prarambha Dahal. Let's begin with the main stories. Kusei or the Father's Day being observed across the country today. Those whose fathers are deceased visiting pilgrimage sites to perform holy rituals. Final rites of late Constituent Assembly Chairperson Nembang being performed with state honor. A public holiday today to mourn his demise. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un invites Russian President Vladimir Putin to his country during talks in Russia. Kim expected to continue his trip with visits to military production facilities. And Pakistan take on Sri Lanka in their last match of the Super 4 stage of the Asia Cup. A victory required for Pakistan, while a no result sufficient for Sri Lanka to play India in Sunday's final. Kusei or the Father's Day is being observed across the country today. Hindus are celebrating Kusei today by bringing kush, a holy grass, into their houses. There is a religious belief that keeping kush anointed with sacred verses or mantras in the house brings well-being to the household. The Hindu community regards kush as the symbol of Lord Vishnu. The day is also celebrated as Father's Day or Gokarne Aushi. People on this occasion wish their fathers with gifts and delicious food items, including sweets, and show reverence. The major marketplaces in the capital have been busy since the morning, with people shopping for sweets, fruits, and gifts for their fathers. As per the religious belief of Pitri Devo Bhava, which translates to respect for ancestors, sons and daughters receive blessings from their fathers, and those whose fathers are already deceased visit pilgrimage sites and perform Shraddha, the holy ritual in remembrance of those who have passed away. By doing this, it is believed that their lineage will remain stable forever. The 158th birth anniversary of the national luminary, Yuva Kavi or the youth poet, Motiram Vatta is being observed today through literary events. Vatta was born this day on Kusei, also the National Father's Day, in 1866 AD. He died on the same day in 1896. He lived a short life but is ever remembered for his substantial contributions to the world of Nepali literature, especially by immortalizing Adi Kavi, or regarded the first poet of Nepal, Bhanubhakta Acharya, by making public his biography. Further, Vatta was also credited for introducing the printing press in Nepal for the first time. He also published the Ramayana of Bhanubhakta. He further developed Nepali language and made it a beautiful medium for literary expressions. Among the popular literary creations of Vatta are Bhanubhakta ko Jivan Charitra, Priya Darshika, and Pikdut. Now, final rites of late Constituent Assembly Chairperson and CPNUML Deputy Chairperson Subhash Chandra Nembang is being performed with state honors today. Nembang's body was taken to his home yesterday, and his final rites will be performed at the Pashupati Arya Ghat in a short while. According to CPNUML, his body is being taken to Pashupati Arya Ghat from his residence through Maharajganj, Dhumbarai, Chabahil, and Gaushala. Prior to this, Nembang's body was kept at UML party office in Chassel for 2 days for final tributes. The government has declared a public holiday today to mourn the demise of Nembang. Kathmandu Metropolis Mayor Balendra Shah has been included in the Time 100 Next, the annual franchise of the Time magazine, which recognizes the rising leaders in health, climate, business, sports, arts, and the other sectors. The Times magazine has identified Shah as a rising leader in its 2023 Time 100 Next. The magazine has said that Shah had emerged as the unlikely winner of Kathmandu's mayoral election in May 2022 after running as an independent candidate using social media platforms to harness voter anger over the status quo. The magazine adds that in a city reeling from the devastating earthquake of 2015, Shah's campaign promises were simple but offered desperately needed fixes, including better waste disposal and sanitation, safe drinking water, clean roads, and the preservation of cultural heritage alongside urban development. Time has added that his efforts to make good on the promises have been made with scrutiny, including in regard to their impact on the city's poor. The license trial for four-wheelers, which had remained halted for the past 11 years in Baglung, has resumed. The license trial has resumed after construction necessary and required criteria and infrastructures after a gap of 11 years. Prior to this, license trial of only motorcycles and scooters were held. Now, trials of Group B, C, E, F and G will also be administered. Before this, local residents of Baglung, Parbat, Magdi and Mustang were compelled to reach other districts for their license trial. It is now time for our segment Public Polls, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Polls.
The question is, why have public grievances regarding the works of the government increased? Your options are A, no good performance, B, legitimate concerns, and C, great expectations. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C, and then send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And now, before we wrap up, here's a look into the top stories one more time. Kusheonsi, or the Father's Day, being observed across the country today. Those whose fathers are deceased visiting pilgrimage sites to perform holy rituals. Final rites of late Constituent Assembly Chairperson Nembang being performed with state honor. A public holiday today to mourn his demise. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un invites Russian President Vladimir Putin to his country during talks in Russia. Kim expected to continue his trip with visits to military production facilities. And Pakistan take on Sri Lanka in their last match of the Super 4 stage of the Asia Cup. A victory required for Pakistan, while a no result sufficient for Sri Lanka to play India in Sunday's final. That is all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will air at 6 p.m. Thank you for staying with us. Have a beautiful day ahead.